And of course, the president can't ride on a bumpy road like the rest of us. So of course, road crews magically appeared. The potholes were filled, fresh pavement laid, so the president and the entourage would ride comfortably. Well, in Isaiah, the road work wasn't for that purpose. He saw it as preparation for the return home of his people, Israel, from exile in Babylon. So to make a path straight, to level the hills, to raise the valleys, this would enable the weak, elderly, very young to travel the way home as easily as the strong and able. And the desert road would be a sign of God's caring for the people, a sign God was a faithful covenant partner. But for John the Baptist, his ministry out in that desert, the road had become symbol in part to ready people rather than a desert highway, to make the bent and crooked lives before him straight, to lift up those laid low, humble the ones who figured they were so high and mighty, to smooth the rough places so all could see God's salvation. Now, salvation lands on the modern ear with a thud, doesn't it? It's rather trite, a relic of the past. But what do we need to be saved from anyways, we wonder? Because we have modern medical technology, transportation, governments there ready to save us, so many things and people we can rely on. But the real ailments of modern life, loneliness, emptiness, there's poverty, economic and spiritual. Or are we being invited to look beyond? Look beyond how we earn our livings or how we did before we retired, what our skin color is, what our voice sounds like. Do we just want to be accepted, to be welcomed, to be offered the gift of community and friendship and someone who does care whether we live or whether we die? Are there troubles anywhere? Climate change, economic troubles, homelessness, unemployment or underemployment, discrimination, sexism, violence, war, corruption. Add to the list. Are there valleys to be filled, mountains leveled off, crooked paths to be straightened before the coming of the Lord? How do we build our lives? Do we just build them with so much activity? Do we put so much pressure on that there's little room for thought or reflection or deliberate focus on something or someone beyond the immediate or mundane? Into the wilderness we create comes this prophet, John, speaking truth and calling on us to make ready for the one coming after him, greater than he is. He spoke to his world as he found it, with the intent of not leaving it as he found it, for he had good news. God's salvation is coming near. What can John say to you now? What change do you need to make? What sin do you need to leave behind so you can embrace and help the world be new? How can we change things in this world or even in our own lives so it's suitable for the dwelling of the child of Bethlehem? Clean, breathable air, drinkable water, shelter for all, freedom from fear and intimidation, peace with justice, hope and faith. All of it and more is God's salvation and new life in this world. Sounds like a construction zone. And it could sound like it has so much to be worked on, the house is a wreck, and it would make you despair to go through the front door. Or maybe it is a space in which we can move beyond despair to join God's mission already rolling, to straighten the paths, to raise up the valleys, to level the mountains and smooth out the rough, so we are ready for the one who comes. Amen.